Hi, this is Senior Grandmaster Jimenez with My Story, Like It or Not. This is going to be chapter 16. It's kind of like almost a chapter 15, 15B, but it's going to call it chapter 16. If you followed yesterday's video on chapter 15, this kind of just goes into more about a little bit of that, but even more worse. And the title of this one is Lake Tahoe Pedophile, and the courts let us down. Now I'm going to tell you exactly what happened on this. It's very disturbing, and I wonder why sometimes people take things in their own hands, and they take care of things themselves, and they're going to wind up in jail. This is a few years ago. My daughter was 3, I think, 3.5, going on 4. And the mother, for some reason, wanted to see him every other weekend and things like that. And she was married to the drug dealer guy, like I said yesterday. And I kind of had no choice, so every other weekend she saw him. Friday I dropped him off. And then Sunday, I picked him up. Well, I usually kept Baron because he was little and she couldn't handle it, and it was too hard for her to have 3 kids. That was her excuse she used. And then my older son, Anthony, he didn't want to go. Every time I go to take him, he started crying. He didn't want to go. He didn't like it there. And begged me, please, Daddy, don't let me go. Don't let me go. So then she didn't care. So she's all, Anthony, you don't want to go? He's all, nope. And so she goes, I'll just stay with your dad then. But Charlie would like to go because, the girl thing and stuff. And I really wasn't too happy about it, but I kind of had no choice at that time before she bailed on him again. But this is the thing about the pedophile thing. And I won't use his last name for legal reasons, so he won't get sued. But he's already in trouble. But I noticed after about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, my daughter Charlie, at night before, would begin to cry, and she's all, Daddy, I don't want to go. I go, why not? I just don't want to go. So she was little, and I said, well, it has to be a reason. I just don't want to go. I don't like being there anymore. So I said, well, I go, you've got to tell your mother so it looks like it's not coming from me. So I don't want anybody to think I'm putting things in your head. Anyway, she went, a couple times again. And then she was home and she had to use the bathroom. So, of course, she's little, right? So I had to kind of, wipe her and stuff like that, and take care of her when she went. So then I went to take her, went to clean her up. And my older son goes, oh, Dad, don't worry about it. Kyle takes Charlie to the bathroom all the time, and he wipes her all the time. And I'm all, Kyle? I go, he's taking Charlie to the bathroom? He goes, yeah. She goes, every time she has to go, he tells Mom that he'll take her. And then, at that point, my mind was like steaming mad. And then Charlie says, yeah, when he wipes me, he hurts me down there, Dad. So I was like furious. So I called up her and I told her, that this was going on. And again, I was a troublemaker, I was a liar, he would never do anything, and all that stuff. And that she used to like taking her to the bathroom, he always wanted to do it. And I go, don't you find that kind of odd? And more or less she was calling Charlie a liar. So, the phone call didn't do very well, so we hung up. And then I got a hold of CPS. And this is what the joke I got from them. The nurse came that used to help me with Baron and one of the girls from CPS, which she didn't like me because I almost had her fired. She went to my computer one day without asking me. when I was getting Baron ready. And, I'm not no lowlife or no scumbag, so she kind of like crossed the wrong person, and she was that close to getting fired. Because I made a few phone calls and took care of that. Really long story short, they came, and she sat across the table and told me it was normal for that man to go in there and wipe my daughter. I said, and even the nurse put her head down, shook her head in disgust. I said, no, that's not normal. I go, I don't think either one of you would want another man that didn't belong to that child to go in there and wipe them. Well, that was it, and so then I said, okay, and so then I let it go, thinking, well, maybe, it's not right, but just to see what happens. And I told the mother, don't let it happen again. Well, about 2 weeks later, we're sitting at a dinner table, eating dinner, me and 3 kids, and Charlie's, oh, Daddy, Kyle hurt me down there again. And I said, what do you mean he hurt you down there again? Yeah, we were down there, and I had my bathing suit on, and he picked me up, and he put his finger down in my private part. Instantly, I went for the fucking ceiling. The first thought I went to my head was, go down there and just eliminate him. Just get rid of him. I was so mad. But then I thought to myself, well, if I do that, there's a good chance I'll lose all 3 of the kids, and they'll go back to her or whatever. So I decided to do it the right way. So I called CPS, and the place is up here. I told them what happened. They instantly said, you need to call the police. I called the police. They took the report. They went down to her house and her husband's house, questioned them. Of course, I was a fucking liar, and I was a troublemaker, and I was this, and I was that. So I did all the right steps. I went down, filed a restraining order against him so he can't be around my children. All the police reports, everything. Went to court, and the judge that was always on my side, I could not believe he did this. He said, the mother and her husband sat across the other side with some church people playing holy roller, and they would never do that, and he's such a great guy. The judge dropped the restraining order because Charlie was too young to testify in court. So he dropped the restraining order and dropped everything. So then I asked him, I said, so then in other words, he can molest my daughter, and because she's too young, it's okay, we'll just wait till she gets older? Of course he yelled at me, and I know better not to argue, so I just kind of went, whatever. I should have just handled it the way I always handle things. So I just let it go. I didn't let it go, I said that wrong. I didn't let it go. So then the detectives called me up. And they said, we're going to put Charlie in a two-way mirror with some detectives and some counselors and stuff, but we're going to ask her a bunch of questions. All she had to do was say Kyle's the one that did it. Remember, Charlie was only, 3.5, she's still a little kid. So I didn't want to coerce her into saying anything that would, should be like a backfire. So I just told her, we're going there. I said, you tell them the truth, what he did. You tell him, all what he did, and that's all I want to know, Char. And she said, okay, Dad. Well, he took her in there. The detective comes out, and he's all, well, he goes, we're going to have to just drop the case because we asked him who Kyle was, and she said he was a cat. Remember, she's only 3. I go, a cat? She goes, yeah. He goes, she was playing around there. She really wasn't paying attention. She just said he was a cat. And so then they dropped it. So then I asked my daughter, I said, well, why would you say he's a cat? She goes, I don't know. She said, they had me all confused. I thought they were talking about animals and stuff. So the detective tells me, he says, well, this is what we'll do. When she gets a little bit older and remembers what she did, then we can go back and we'll have him arrested. Because if that day, if he would have said, she would have said, yeah, Kyle did this, they would have went down and arrested him that day. So instead, I had to put her in counseling because of what he did. And the counselor lady was such a nice lady, and I really missed her. She came up the hill. And she worked with Charlie, and Charlie told her the same thing what he did, and she didn't want to go there no more. And of course, Michelle, right after that, went into court and said that she didn't want her children anymore. That she was signing over all rights. She had no rights anyway. I had full custody, but she's signing over all rights to the kids that was best for her other family. That she don't see her kids. Again, back to the piece of shit that she is. That's what she did. And in shock, I looked over at her, and on my table I looked over at her. The judge raised his glasses, looked at her, and he goes, and even the stenographers are all looking at her, and the judge says, "Do you know what you're saying?" She goes, "Yeah, I know what I'm saying." She goes, "You'll have no say on these kids, nothing, ever." I know. Of course, she was high as hell, so she took off. Boom. Well, about a month later, I get a phone call from her, screaming and crying. Every time she's in trouble, she has nowhere to go, she'll call. "Oh my God, you were right. Kyle molested our daughter." And I go, "You're kidding, right?" She goes, "No." She goes, "You were right. He did." She goes, I thought Charlie was just lying, and he molested our daughter and stuff, and this and that. So, long story short, he wasn't allowed to see his kids, or kid. And until CPS had to do Zoom meetings with them and back and forth. And they still didn't arrest him. They still didn't arrest that fucking pedophile. So he's up here in Lake Tahoe, wherever he's at now, doing what he has to do. So I guess he's not allowed to see his little kid, the last time I heard, only on Zoom meetings. I don't know if the CPS dropped everything and let him see the kid again. But this is how the law works up here in a lot of places. He molests my daughter twice. He molests his daughter. He's still running around because they're too young to testify. What kind of bullshit is that? So these little children, just not mine. A lot of people around here, they tell me there's 375 cases up here in Lake Tahoe for pedophiles and child molestation. 375 cases. And that they have a hard time getting to all of them. But what about all them poor children that have to deal with that? So in my case, I was lucky because she doesn't see her kids anymore, and I have completely full custody. She has no say on it. Or she doesn't really care anyway. But I wouldn't let my daughter go anyway. But some of the poor men and women that are in jail right now for life because they blew their husband or their wife's head off because they caught them molesting their children. This is some of the reasons why this happens. It's because CPS, they worry about, you can't call your kid a pussy. You can't, make him run laps. But it's okay to your kid can get molested. That's the kind of crap that they do, or just silly stuff. But the important stuff, they're not there. The police did nothing. The judge sat up there and more or less said, "Oh well, she's 3 years old. She can't testify. Sorry." And this is ridiculous. Restraining order dropped, and her and him and the church people all walked out with their, patting him on the back like he won something. That's what's happening up here in Lake Tahoe. And this kind of stems off from chapter 15 that went on. My friend Mary Beth, I'll be honest with you, she's the only one that really told off the mother, Michelle. Told her off the first time, big time. And today, after seeing chapter 15, she started all over again. She was fuming mad. I love her for it. She's always had my back. She's been a good friend from high school and stuff. And so I just find it kind of funny when I got the text today. And I'm not going to say what she said, but it was pretty funny, and some choice words and stuff. But out there, I'm telling you right now, you watch your children. Don't let them do sleepovers. Don't let them do they call it play dates now. Play dates, I don't. A lot of parents will do that. They'll dump their kids off. They don't know me. They don't know anybody. They don't know what kind of person I am. And they try to drop their kids off. Oh, yeah, can my kids stay the weekend? No. They can't stay the weekend. My kids ask me all the time, oh, so-and-so invited us over for the weekend for a slumber party or a sleepover. No. Why not? Because I said so. Of course, you think I'm mean, but I'm not. I'm not saying you have to keep your kids in the closet the whole time, but you need to be more aware. Because realistically, the police and CPS does nothing. Not a thing. When it comes to stuff like that. They've always got an excuse. So this is chapter 16. I don't want to keep going on about it, but people in Lake Tahoe, you keep your eyes open anywhere you live. Like I said, 375 cases up here in Lake Tahoe. This is a few years ago. Because Charlie's going to be 7 now, and she was 3 when it happened. But I thought I'd bring it into my book, so people will see where I'm coming from, and they can see kind of what went on and stuff like that. So again, I want to thank the viewers. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. We had a lot of subscribers and likes on the videos when it was on Kachikimbo Live. But when I made a special channel just for this book, so there'll be nothing else on there but the book, we lost all the subscribers and all the likes and stuff. So you kind of almost had to start all over. And I really haven't pushed it on social media a lot and stuff like that. I kind of want to get most of it done. And like I said, this is probably going to be 20 chapters. This is chapter 16, and then the book will come out. It would be, be made and come out, and I'll get people copies and stuff. Now, keep in mind, you can watch all 20 chapters on Kachikimbo Live. I'm sorry, but the Tell All Book YouTube channel. But each chapter, this is just a taste of what went on. There's a lot of things I don't want to put on social media to protect people's names and and their wives or their girlfriends or whoever, so that's why I didn't put it on social media. But in the book, it'd be completely different. It'd be names, places, all what was done, this and that, and each chapter would be added to it. So don't think just what you see is on the Senior Grandmaster Tell It All Storybook channel that that's all it's going to be, because it's not. Anyway, I'm Senior Grandmaster Jimenez. This is my story, like it or not. And please subscribe, and I hope to see you soon.